So, well, I don't know whether my personal thanks to, I just want to join with Martin and thank you all for, again, 6 amazing years. It's proving that theater is very much alive and loved by people of all ages and walks of life. And we really, really appreciate everyone in this room for making it happen. And this season is, I dare say, our most ambitious yet.
The first show this season is Noises Off. That's a title that maybe some of you have heard before. I want to tell you just a little bit about it. If you remember Boing Boing from last year, our farce, this show takes a really fun approach at looking at the theatricality of a farce. So it combines, people say it's the funniest show ever written. I think they're probably right. And the reason is that it merges the hilarity of an onstage farce with the hijinks of a lot of backstage drama. So in the play, we're watching, Act 1 is watching the final dress rehearsal of this amazing farce that's going to tour Britain called Nothing On, which is kind of a dubious title. But we see that things are sort of not going well on stage, but we don't really understand why everything's going wrong until we take Act 2, a full 180 literally, and watch the show from behind the scenes. So we're watching backstage and everything that's going on wrong backstage that leads us to all of the hilarity on stage. So the play is whirlwind, it's hilarious, it's really fun, it's super challenging. It's a show that we wanted to do for a long time and we haven't been ready yet. So this is the time when we finally said, we're ready for it. We're ready for this challenge. And I can say that as the director, I'm building the team right now and casting, and I think that you're going to be really excited to see some of our most familiar, funny faces back on stage for this one. So I'm excited about it.
The second show in our lineup next year is a rediscovery. This is a play called Period of Adjustment that I guarantee you have not heard of. If you've heard of Period of Adjustment, please raise your hands. This is a play by a gentleman named Tennessee Williams. Raise your hands if you heard of Tennessee Williams. It's a play set on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, I believe, 1958. And it has been, after it was produced in its premiere in 1961, there was a period from 1961 until 2006 when it did not receive another major production anywhere that we can hear about. And it was then revived at the Almeida Theatre in London, where I had the good fortune to actually be able to see it personally. And as I discovered, and a lot of reviewers at The Guardian and The Stage and The Times and a lot of patrons in London, it has been something of a crime that this production has been hidden from sight. It really is a beautiful show. It's got so much warmth and heart. It begins with a man alone in his house on Christmas Eve, and then suddenly his old war buddy, Korean war buddy, drops off his newlywed wife on his front porch of this guy George, who's sitting alone in his Ralph, who's sitting alone in his house, and then drives off. And they had just gotten married the night before, and apparently had a rather disastrous wedding night. All sorts of things are coming to a head, and so she arrives, and of course Ralph is sitting alone because his own wife has just taken their kid and left as well, so everyone's in pretty amicable shape on Christmas Eve. It all starts with a bit of a sheen. There's a lot of comedy, there's a lot of humor, and then as it plays out and these relationships develop in a very, very 1950s fashion, so much warmth comes out and so much sort of truth to these relationships, and you, as I did, you just fall in love with them. So we're really excited to be doing, I think, one of the first 5 productions of this play, professional productions of this play, right here in Northwest Arkansas by one of America's greatest playwrights. That's coming in December of next year. So, Period of Adjustment.
Hi, I'm Amy, and I'm introducing to you, I feel like Vanna, Sons of the Prophet by Stephen Karam. Sons of the Prophet reminds me, this play, of why I am in theater, and that is saying a lot. When I saw this play in New York, something very unusual happened. When it ended, I said nothing. But I said nothing because I was actually so choked up that I sort of couldn't say anything. And when I finally recovered that ability, I turned to someone called the artistic director of this theater company and said, I think we will be doing that play as soon as the rights become available. This piece is very funny and very moving and poignant, and it really is about how the things that are wrong in all of us together, the sense of humanity and that commonness between us is what can heal us. And that is the reason that I got into theater, to just bring that back around. It is a beautiful piece that is warm and funny and delightful, and ultimately will leave you like this.
I want to invite you all to join our team of spies, or our informants, because I first heard about Next to Normal from an informant who said, "This is a TheatreSquared show." If you think back, if any of you remember seeing Rabbit Hole, the lovely woman who played the mother in Rabbit Hole started sending me regular emails. She went back to New York and said, "Oh, this is a show, definitely look at," and this was one that she early on sort of said, must do. And why did she say that? Because she said, this is a play that has so much heart and love at the core. And we are very drawn to plays, and I say we, I'm talking about this sort of team up here, and I think a lot of you, that show the triumph of the human heart over adversity, right? And in this play, the adversity happens to be in the form of mental illness, of this mother of a family who has bipolar disorder, kind of an extreme version, and she goes through a lot of medications and a lot of strain trying to deal with it. But the love of her family, the love of her husband, kind of hanging in there with this is tremendously moving. And on top of that, the music, it's a musical, I should say. Combination of music and lyrics is so smart and so touching and moving. This was, I dare say, the first play that we chose for the season. We knew that we had to be the ones to bring it to Northwest Arkansas.
It's worth mentioning, when he says prize winning, he means 3 Tony Awards and the 2010 Pulitzer Prize for Drama. So that's the lineup. Yeah.